Jeffree and Adonis have won a chance to meet Russell Brunson and learn his online business secrets in person. Jeffree wipes the greasy sweat from his palm down his trousers. I'm so bored. Why can't he hurry up? Jeffree can't stop twitching because his attention span is so messed up from thousands of hours of scrolling on TikTok. Adonis is calmly sitting next to Jeffree, unmoving, totally present, and with immaculate posture. Russell finally enters the room and introduces himself. He receives a moist and floppy handshake from Jeffree and a strong, firm one from Adonis. He begins talking to them about online marketing and Jeffree interrupts. I thought you were going to tell us how to get rich instantly. Adonis gives Jeffree a look of pure disappointment. Doesn't he understand that it'll take hard work and time to build wealth? He should show some respect to the master. The hard times are here and you're probably seeing the people around you, especially your parents, struggle financially. Things have become way more expensive, but wages have been stagnant, which means that you and your family are probably struggling. Maybe every day you see your mother or your father get ready and go to the same job that they've been at for a while. And it just makes you so sad and agitated as an ambitious young man. You want to be able to provide and actually help your family. And so you have the desire to make more money. I think we all, as like a generation of young men, want to make more money. We want to be able to provide. But we're just kind of confused on how to do that. Because the idea of creating a business and making online income, it seems kind of vague. When you think about the advice that a bunch of people online give, which is like, yeah, just start a business. That seems so vague and confusing. What does it even mean to start a business, to grow a business? And on the other hand, to pursue like a normal 9-to-5 career, to go through the education system and to get a degree and to try and get a good job and be a good boy. There's some of the people who do really well like that, and they've got their perfect career lined up and they can't wait for it. But maybe you're just feeling a little bit directionless because there isn't an exact career that you really want to go for, and you'd prefer to do your own thing anyway. I was just like that, and so I started pursuing entrepreneurship and making businesses, and eventually I started YouTube in May 2020. And 1 year later, near the middle of 2021, I was still broke. I'd been uploading videos very consistently to YouTube from May 2020 to around May 2021. I was still broke. I was literally still claiming government welfare. I was claiming this thing called universal credit in the UK. I was getting £300 a month. I could barely even afford to pay my one employee, my editor, Sam. I could barely even afford to pay him. I was giving some money to my parents, but like literally not that much. And I literally didn't have any money for myself. I followed the advice of all those guys I saw online of creating a business, and it was nowhere near as profitable as I thought it would be. And then I discovered the book .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. Now, if you've seen a bunch of my videos, you know that I've mentioned this book. So if it comes down to making money, this is the book that I mentioned. So this author, this businessman, this very famous entrepreneur and marketer, Russell Brunson, he's wrote some other books as well, which are really, really good. It's all like a series together, which I've recommended so many times. And so what happened when I started reading this book that we're going to cover today, .com Secrets, I followed the book as best as I could, and I created an online course called the Aesthetic Body Course that you might have seen me mention. I created that course, marketed it, and sold it exactly like how this author told me to do. And I literally went from being totally broke on government welfare to making my first few $1,000s per month online. This was around July 2021, so in the space of 2 months, I went from being flat out broke to actually making more than a full-time income. And then just a few months after that, I made my first ever $10,000 month. And I'm not a very materialistic person. I'm still wearing the same bathrobe from the last 2 years, bro. I'm not a very materialistic person, so I reinvested literally as much of that money back into this big movement. I hired so many more staff. It even became kind of like a meme in our community of the amount of guys that I was hiring. And suddenly our channel, our whole movement just got put on the fast track. We had a full-on dedicated team making these videos. That meant that my time was being more free and I could spend more time learning so that I could teach things better to you. The guys that I hired to help me make these videos for you, they were young men literally from our movement. They were just young guys who were watching our videos, and I wanted to give them opportunities. One of the video editors was working in a grocery store beforehand for minimum wage, and then he started working for me. Another guy was an Uber Eats driver and then became my editor. Another guy was from Syria and he escaped that country because of what was happening. And then, he started studying in Germany and got this job as well. Just a few months after that, I flew out my editors to come meet all in person. So we all went to Amsterdam, we met up, we actually celebrated their success. And it was just so amazing to see these guys who were just like some of us come fly out and actually enjoy themselves with the success that they'd help us bring. And I paid for all their flights and the Airbnb that we stayed in. With the money that we've been able to make by following this book, I've been able to fly around and actually see my fans in person and actually hear your stories. And I've had a personal life benefit from this too. On my second YouTube channel, the Hamza Unfiltered Unfiltered channel. There's a video which is titled You Can Escape From Hell. You might have seen it. And the top comment was from one of our boys congratulating me on the progress that I'd made from, you know, being broke to getting like more successful. And in his comments, he wrote like, oh, you know, like it's like so good to see Hamza's success. Like he was a self-made guy and he's become successful. And I commented and, you know, said, oh, thank you so much for those kind words, but I'm not self-made. I'm not a self-made successful man. I've had an extremely supportive family all of this time. My father's worked 60 to 80-hour work weeks through the night as a taxi driver. And he was doing this to support our entire family. Imagine one man supporting an entire family. And that meant that I could focus on this business instead of, you know, needing to work or anything. And so when we started making a lot more money, I started supporting my father, my entire family. And that's such an amazing feeling. I can't wait for you to get to the point when like you're the one who's, for example, paying for the house, or you're the one who's supporting your family and like they don't have to work at the same like undesirable jobs, unsafe jobs that they've had to do previously. Following this book, .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, honestly changed my life forever, and it's why we're here today, because I am sure if I didn't follow this book, if I didn't implement the principles that we're going to learn today of making online income, of marketing, and we didn't make that much money to help us expand, we would not be this big. Like this movement wouldn't be global. If you've watched a bunch of my videos, you know just how many times I mentioned this book, .com Secrets, and the other book that this author has wrote. Go to the description of this video and there's an affiliate link to the book that we're discussing today, and it's 2 other books as well if you do want to get them. The book that we're covering today is the first one that Russell wrote, and it's .com Secrets. And it's kind of like the blueprint, like the manual, the handbook to online marketing and actually making online income. The benefit of following this book in this video is that you will hugely increase how much profit you're making from your business. And it'll also kind of explain the concept of a business as well. If that kind of confuses you a little bit and you don't really understand what the f is actually a bit like, what does that even mean? Like, yeah, you know, okay, there's YouTubers, there's TikTokers, but what does business even mean? The book explains it really well. So you want to make online income? Well, we're going to go over the most important steps from this book on how to make that a reality like way sooner